So, here we are once again, part 3, discussing America's place in prophecy before it is fulfilled and becomes history. So, we have well known that the CIA has promoted drug plantation, implementation in their undesirable neighborhoods. And since we have the mass building of prisons, we must fill them, right? Get the renters in there. So the American public can pay for a land of the incarcerated. So they create problems and offer solutions. So says William Cooper, who was in the Naval Intelligence for 17 years. You should read his book, The Hold the Pale Horse. It's very enlightening. So it says, referring to this city, nation, state, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Also Israel and mystery Babylon. She has become a habitation of devils. Here we identify the cause in the thinking of the masses of the people that leads to behaviors on the road to incarceration. There are great plagues that have come over the mentality of the people. Huh? Spiritually called. Attitude, mind, thought begets action along the same lines as the nature of the thought. And so too produces an emotion, chemical hormonal exchange along the nature of the thought, which produces the attitude, which produces the atmosphere of the individual, and it's contagious one to another, and it becomes a plague. And these mental plagues are being planned and spread mainly through the entertainment industry in the name of pleasure. That's jamming. By the law of association, they slip it in there. A little laughter, or a beat in the song, which produces a chemical reaction within the brain, because we're mathematical by nature. And the law of association will relate evil with pleasure. It is none other than a tactic of war. Oh, we should know the time. The conflict is in these circumstances and conditions that lead to drugs, which is the single largest offense resulting in incarceration. And it is an established fact that a large portion of the drug problem got started by the CIA in an attempt to destabilize the black and poor communities. It is a documented fact that the CIA flooded the black community with heroin in an attempt to destabilize the Black Panther movement in the 1960s. All you have to do is set something in motion. An object set in motion remains in motion until acted upon by an equal or greater force. And if you feed it continuously, it will grow. Then you can blame it on somebody else. You set the trap, you put the bait, catch your prey, then what? The game is done. And crime are in fact a war on the poor and underprivileged. The conflict is in these circumstances and conditions that lead to drugs, which is the single largest offense resulting in incarceration, leads to the drugs and the crimes that are in fact a war on the poor and underprivileged in order to set them up in permanent housing, out of sight, out of mind. The next verse in this chapter of Revelation describes the foreign policy and military actions of this great city. Can this be describing any nation on the scene today other than America? I think not. Revelation 18:3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. All nations, not some nations, all nations, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Now, who got rich more than the Federal Reserve? Who This fiat money, since there was no income tax established in the Constitution, illegally, when the Reserve was act, they put their hands in the pockets of the taxpayers, took it out, charged the government at high interest to loan it back to them, and then they got waxed rich. Let's analyze America's dealings with foreign nations in the 20th century to see if America fits the description. First of all, the 20th century was a time period of great conflict, and the first two world wars were only signs of things to come. Since they involve many nations, and for the sake of argument, we'll consider them justified and rule them out of consideration to fit this description. The decades following World War II, we unleashed our wrath on Korea because the powers that be in our country did not like Fidel Castro. The CIA planned and executed a covert operation to overthrow him. Though it failed, Cuba had a sip of the wine of our wrath. In just a few short years, the decision was made to bail the French out, who had colonized Vietnam, and we found ourselves in a 10-year conflict. Yet we were unsuccessful in Vietnam and had drunk of the wine of her wrath. The CIA has long been meddling and making mischief in the affairs of foreign nations. America had not long been out of the conflict in Vietnam and annoying to the citizens of the taxpayers. American taxpayer dollars were spent meddling in the affairs of Chile. Why? Why Chile? Because don't have the right to self-determine their own government? Because you couldn't control the one that they had in power? I'll say. Because our decision makers behind closed doors did not like the direction and self-determination of that country. Our naval ships were parked off the coast, and our money was spent in the propaganda affairs over the airwaves there to back a rival who would do our bidding against those who were in the power of the government of Chile. This is a form of fornication by those who were willing to get in bed with our decision makers' agenda. Now, the abundance of her delicacies. Is there any other nation that has enjoyed more abundance of luxuries than we have here in America? People are starving while we go have fast food restaurants on every corner. And as a result, we have become an out of shape and gluttonous people. We have the most advanced form of medicine, yet we are the sickest people on earth. Did you realize that we throw away some 30 million tons of food every year? We enjoy an excess of every kind of luxury that technology brings. We are a nation of consumers. It was not long ago that a consumer could not enter a retail store without being offered a credit card account with that business. So in order to sell us a dream, a fantasy, an illusion of enjoying the abundance of their products, and we would say, I like this sweater or this product. I don't have the money for it right now, but it's on sale, and I just can't leave it in the store. Sure, I'll take one of your credit accounts. This is the kind of mentality that a lifestyle of abundance has conditioned in us. Some will respond, if you don't like it, then leave it. Hey, this is only a form of identification. I'm not really criticizing. I'm trying to identify this for you, for us, for we, the people. Oh, my people and the people of America, I am not condemning America, for we are doing a good job of that by our own thoughts, words, and actions. And if we do not find a way to come into the favor of God, with God, then surely a day will soon come when we will look for a way of escape and will not find one. Oh, my people and the people of America, there is yet more evidence I would like to present to you so that we can be sure of our place in history of prophecy in the nations that which we live in. America is the mystery. Babylon is on the path to her ultimate destruction at the hands of the Son of Man, God in person. Revelation 17, and there came out of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great Lord that sits upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed a fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.